Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Inner Connection. Today, we're going to talk about our most authentic self. It's just a little experience that I had this past week that I would like to share with everybody, and it's part of my deconditioning series. I will have a video, spoiler alerts, on how to decondition yourself soon, or the step to deconditioning, which is an important part of life because we are so conditioned to the society norm and to all the really boxed in teaching that I find to get back to the points of Wu-Wei, to have clean heart and head space, is to decondition from those teaching that has been imprinted in us either consciously or subconsciously throughout all the year of our lives. And what they are just a lot of things that does not serve us for a good purpose. So a lot of trauma deconditioning, a lot of mindset conditioning that we need to do. And I feel like that's very important to get back to Wu-Wei and finding your authentic self. So today's topic is authentic self. How did I come to the journey of presenting my authentic self? And I think, like I said, deconditioning has to be part of it. And then going back to Wu-Wei is part of that as well. And my journey this past week has been a quite rough one. I've been doing a lot of things to optimize my health and bring myself to wellness because, to build community, everything has to start with me. And I want to be that inspiration and that person who has walked this path and inspire other people to do the same thing for themselves. And so I've been doing a lot of good things, like trying to get over the Uber Eat addiction, trying to cook more for myself, trying to, get rid of a lot of sugar addiction, trying to become more at peace with myself and learn to be more at a Wu-Wei state more often. But as I'm doing all that, my body felt really stirred up from the homeostasis and the comfort zone. And even though if it's better for myself, it wants to stay in that comfort zone, even if it's toxic. It's kind of like, those ladies who stays in toxic relationship because they know what they're expecting. And that's what our physical body do when we try to jump out of that comfort zone, and even if we're changing for the better. So then my body started acting up. It started going into very down mode, and it starts sleeping like 14 hours days and still be tired. It was just like not want to do anything, and I have to fight it every single day to prevent myself from going back to that old toxic self. And there are so many days last week that I just kind of give up and just be like, okay, you know what? I'm hiding in that corner. I'm Uber eating myself to death. And that's the last thing I want to do. Because I was just so exhausted from fighting. What comes out of it, though, it's the me today. I remember my one of my teachers would say, when we become the better self, when we become our most well-being optimized awakened self, it takes the work of going through the crappy layer first. So imagine diving into the river. You have to brush away all the seaweeds and all the junk on top before you dive into that really nice clear water. And so it felt like the past week has just been brushing away all the crap and don't know when the clean water is, and all of a sudden, boom, it's here. And I think what got me to this point was two major events. One was the debate with my friend over the weekend. This friend sees things in a totally different sense than I do. We have totally different views, and I'm very grateful we can still stay friends. But he asked me two important questions that kind of awakened me. Number one was, are you willing to accept that you're wrong? And I said, yeah, because I'm a humble empress, you know. But you have to prove that I'm wrong first. And number two was, what are you doing right now? And when I answered that question, I felt like he haven't seen the value in what I'm doing. Instead, just like a lot of people try to suggest there's a better way of doing things. And that's when I says, no. This is me. This is my way. And this is the way I choose to do things. The me before would have backed up and says, oh my God, maybe he's right. Maybe I need to analyze the way I'm doing things. Maybe I am wrong. And have all these crazy self-doubts. But me this weekend says, no, this is me. And it led me back to today, where I start talking to some of my customers. I start talking to some of the people that are aligned with my way, and pretty much the same conversation, except they see the value in me. They see my true self, they see my work, and they see what I'm doing without me having to prove anything. Because a lot of self-work, unfortunately, it's not like you bake a cake and be like, ta-da, it's so beautiful, I'm showing you this materialistic stuff. It's not. And the purpose and the intention was never to show people what you did. My intention, at least, was always to feel more joy and more peaceful. Which that's what I did. And I did it through, instead of freaking out on other people's comments, instead of looking at my mood swings and going back to Uber Eats and making a big deal out of it and enlarging the problem, or shrinking it and brushing it away and says, meh, that's not my problem, or reflecting on other people and blaming on other stuff. Oh, because of so and so, so I did so and so. No, I just took it in my hand, I look at it and says, okay, that's what it is. There are times I might not be able to be like, accept it and be like, boom, done with. But instead of having a reaction, I look at it and be like, you could sit with me for a while. And that's Wu-Wei. The doing, not doing. And that's the deconditioning. People think the more they do, I just have to keep doing, is the way to get out of all problems. It's not. It's being. Being the true, authentic you. Sitting there, looking at things and not be reactive. Not only that will bring out more peace and joy, that also brings out the more authentic you. Not being reactive makes the matter so much more acceptable. You're not judging it. You're not putting a bad name to it. You're not doing, why is the depression there? You shouldn't be there. No, that's the world. That's the world we need to decondition ourselves from. You're looking at it as, I acknowledge you. Show me what you want me to learn. Show me what you're trying to show me. And then it'll give you the answer. And then you'll be like, okay, I accept it. Thank you. And it's that moment that you accept it. Every time you do that, the more authentic self you show. And this past week has shown me that the more authentic self I've shown, the more acceptance myself, the more that I'm sure of my own value and my own being and my work. Other people will see it and accept it as well. Another spoiler alert is I'm planning this big huge event called Choose Love. And I'm so grateful that through my authenticity work, my choice of living in love and not fear, that has reward into this whole progress. The more acceptance of myself, the more value I give myself. The more that I'm assured of my own value, people see my value and is willing to see that value and come work alongside with me. Because that was my biggest fear, is to present an idea and be turned down, and then that lowers my value. But because I'm more acceptance of this vulnerability of mine, I accept myself more, I accept my value more, that I brush away that fear and I just chose that path of love. And that's self-love as well. At the end of the video, I just want to make a special thank you again to everybody who see me for me, accept me for my authentic self, and see my value and wants to help me thrive at this project. It means so much to me. It doesn't mean that I need that affirmation to have that value anymore, because I am more acceptance of myself. But it just means that when another person does it to me, all the encouragement, all the I know your success, I believe in your value, I believe in you, it just means so much more, and it's so heartwarming. Not only it gives me more motivation to keep going, but it slowly wiped the hurt and pain and trauma away within me. All the self-doubts, all the uncertain me has been wiped away with every encouragement and every affirmation. Thank you for this time, and I'll see you next time.